a good fish. This is ridiculous. What is going on, guys? Josh Deacons here, and I got this cool little boat that we're going to be refinishing. I got a lot of fun stuff we're going to be doing to it. The other day, I ripped it off the trailer, actually hooked it to my handy-dandy deer hook up there, and cranked it in. Me and my boy River did that. Got it in here. We cleaned it all out. They spent some time with a shop vac, just sucking all that junk out of the bottom. Cleaned up all the stuff that was in the bottom in there. Picked this boat up last summer. It's in kind of rough shape, but we're going to run through it and make it usable. I think we're going to put a light on it. Got a sonar we're going to stick on there, so we'll go through that stuff a little bit later. But right now, these seats are absolutely horrific. Look at that. They're all dry rotted. They got stuff all over them, all full of splinters and just stuff that nobody wants to be sitting on. So we're going to take that. We're going to sand it down, stain it, and lacquer it, make it look really, really cool. How we're going to do that is we're going to start off with something a little heavier. We're going to do a 120 grit on this one, and then we're going to bump it up to a 220 to kind of sand it out, make it a little smoother so you don't get any slivers or stuff. Then, like I said, we're going to stain it, we're going to lacquer it, we're going to make it look good as new, and I'm going to show you guys the process about doing that. I got a little palm sander over there. We're going to get that ripping. Stay tuned. Way better than it was before. And that was just round one. I also got another sander that's got like a pointier tip on it, you know, all them little corners. That was the 120 grit, and we are gonna bump that up to the 220 grit. Boy, what a difference that made already. These are way smoother than they were before. There was no way I could get away with doing that. I had a handful of splinters and old whatever clear coat they put on those things. That's way better than that. There. Oh, I should have worn a mask. Look at that. All right, guys. Well, we got the boat all sanded down. The seats look pretty good. There is one spot in the center. You can actually see it right there, where for some reason it's like darker. I don't know if some oil got in there, some gas leaked down there, whatever. I couldn't get it to come out. It's really seeped in the wood. So we're just going to stain over it and see how she rolls. So we got that all smoothed out, looking good, looking really good, looking a lot better than what it did before. Now we're going to throw some stain on there. This is actually an indoor stain and it's an oil-based, but I'm going to be throwing lacquer over the top of it anyway, so I don't think it's going to make a difference. I'm not just going to be running that open like that. So I'm going to use this. It's kind of what I had laying around. I use it for some other projects, and I kind of liked it. It had like a red look to it, and I kind of like that. So we're going to run that. This is a rosewood here. That's what I'm going to be using that on those boat seats. And then after that, it's the money part, right? Is the lacquer, the thing that makes it look all cool and nice. I'm going to use Total Boat Lust. This is something I've seen a lot of good reviews on. And we're going to give this a shot right here. This is the high gloss, which may come back to bite me because I do plan on using this boat for some duck hunting. And I don't know if that high gloss will spook the ducks at all. But I'm figuring I'm probably going to spend a lot more time bombing around on it than I will be duck hunting out of it. So we're going to go this route and we'll see how it works out. If it ends up biting me, I'll let you know. But I tell you what, this stuff is pricey. It's pricey. This little thing right here, this is 1 quart. This was worth $30. This should be enough to do my 3 boards, but if you have a big project, just know it's probably going to cost you. I think a gallon was like $130. So just so you know, it's pricey. It's pricey stuff, but it's supposed to be the best. We're going to give it a shot, and we're going to find out how good it actually works here on this YouTube channel. So let's get this stain. I'm just going to use an old sock. Some guys use those little foamy brushes or whatever, but I think an old sock will work just fine because that's what I got, so that's what I'm going to use. So let's see how this looks. It needs to be mixed up pretty good. I shook it on the way in, but apparently. All right, let's put a little on here. I hope this comes out as good as I think it's gonna. It's got a real red look to it. And we're gonna take this on there and just kind of start putting it on, I guess. Start over here.
That's gonna look cool. That's gonna look really cool. Gotta keep this one. Look at that, that looks so cool.
That wood's gonna kind of soak this in. Look at that. Look how much better that looks. It's kind of weird to do it this way, but there you go. Check that out. How cool is that? Looks 100 times better. A little bit of sanding, a little bit of stain. That's all it takes. Boom. All right, let's get on to the next one.
I know they use this for...
Well, those are drying. I'm going to jump on some other projects with this little guy. So this back transom here is pretty whooped. Kind of in the same shape the seats were. I want to see if I can sand that down and maybe get it to match that. That'd be kind of cool. Might have to pull the motor off to do it. It's a little junction thingy here they got going on. That's where they run their lights. This is their lights right here. Kind of cool. They slide up and down. Kind of retro-y, right? There's one kind of like that on the bow too. Kind of like way throwback. This is like an old, I call them cigarette lighter imports in there, an old fuse. We're gonna rip all that right out. They got wires in here too. It runs all the way down the side of the boat. I think I might better solution for these wires that run up there. I can see someone jumping in the boat and getting that caught on something. I might run it down. Maybe I'll reroute it, run it down this little crack down here, stick it in there with some other wires for our, because I'm gonna do a big light, a bar light on the front. Maybe I'll like do that and run like some silicone or something over it to keep it nice and tight and right. I think that'll look cool. It'll look cool. Keep it hidden. You know, people are like, where's the wires? We don't know. Actually, I think I already took the screw out. Ew. Uh-oh. That's not good. The warranty expired in 1993. I think this boat's like an 87. That's pretty junky. Get rid of that. Actually, look at that. But right now, let's see what we can get about this transom. I'm a little nervous about sanding it because I don't want the dust to get on my freshly stained boards, but Lord hates coward. Ugh. There we go. That makes life a little easier. One more. Now, if I gotta replace this, I will. I'd prefer not to. It does look like it's gotten a little, some indentations, but that's kind of common when you see these transom. You got a boat that transom gets wet, gets loose, someone cranks it in over the years, keeps cranking it, you know, and he just compresses that wood in there. So, I mean, I would say eventually you're probably gonna have to change that out, but I'm probably not gonna be the guy. It'll probably be the next guy, whoever takes this boat after me. So I'm just gonna sand it down. See that? Sand it down. It's solid, and I don't see any cracks, and that's really your biggest concern. As long as it's solid and there's no cracks, you're okay. I'll sand down what I can get. I may have to get like a little hand thing, get in there to sand that stuff. Clean that up. That looks a lot better. I didn't bother taping this one at all because I found out you can just wipe off whatever excess gets on stuff. As long as you get to it quickly, it seems to come right off. That I didn't do such a great job on that. I just kind of wanted to hit it. I wasn't going to go overboard because I couldn't really clean it up as much as I could the seats. But I feel like that ties in the transom with the rest of the boat now. That looks a heck of a lot better. I got that stain on there. I let it dry. It sat for a month before I got back to it. And this is kind of how it came out. I see there's still some spots in here that are pretty light. So I'm actually going to put a second coat on this thing just to darken it up before I do the lacquer. So we're going to go back. I'm going to throw another quick coat of stain on this thing. Let that dry. Then we'll do the lacquer and see how it all comes out. Well, so far I don't regret it. I think they look way better with a second coat. Look at that. That's way better than it was the first time. So we're going to let this dry. We're going to let this coat dry. Second coat, a month later. Look at my fingers. Second coat, finally got a month later. I had time to get it in. Told my wife I'd have this boat in and out of the shed super quick. That was not true. That was not true. I wish it was true, but it was not true. So we are going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back probably bright and early tomorrow morning because it's summertime now. I put this boat in here. I had snow on the ground. Now there's no more snow. So that tells you the time I had. So we're gonna get this thing lacquered up, show you guys what it looks like, the finished product, and then we're gonna do some other stuff with this boat. We're gonna keep tricking it out. We got an off-grid camp. You'll see that in our off-grid camp series, and this boat's gonna spend a lot of time there. So I got a Garmin unit. This is actually upside down, but that's a Garmin unit. That's gonna go on there. I got a light that's gonna go on the front. I'll show you guys about wiring that stuff in, how to do it, where to mount the transducer, how to do the batteries in these little boats. Makes a difference. Weight makes a difference in these things. So we're gonna get these boat seats all dried up, get them all lacquered and looking all nice. Then we're gonna get some rod holders on here, stick the transducers on here, get the sonar on there, and I'll be ready to rock. No paint chips, because it will be there forever. Let's go. Oh yeah, look at that. That's cool. If you're not gonna do this in a well-ventilated area, if you're in your garage or something in the middle of winter, you're gonna wanna wear a mask. Definitely, this stuff's pretty potent. I got a big garage door open a couple feet away from me. One thing I found with this stuff is don't be afraid to lay it thick. That's gonna help keep your board safe. Boom, seat number 2 done. There you have it. Guys, just that easy. Just that easy. It'll be a lot quicker for you than it was for me. About how long it takes you to accomplish a goal. It's about how many goals you accomplish. So you never fail until you give up. Make it happen. And we are currently rigging, fixing up, remodeling. I don't know how you want to put it. A little skiff. I just did the seats on there. Got them all lacquered up, looking super nice. Once we get this boat all rigged and ready to go, we're going to take it on a lake. We're going to do some adventuring, and I'm going to drag you guys around for that. I love little boats. I don't know why. I just got a weird thing for them. So we're going to keep rocking and rolling this and get it all slapped together so we can get out on the road and get fishing and drag you guys along and show you all the fun things you can do in a little boat for a dude that just wants to fish or get out on the water. This is the kind of thing you want right here. You can take it to a lot of places, and you can do a lot of damage in something like this. The other thing that we're going to slap on here is some rod holders. Placement saves time. And it can be the difference between getting that hook set in on a fish or not. Getting in or not makes all the difference in the world. I like these Scotties. They're one of my favorite ones. They're not super strong. Like, you can't run like a dipsy rod or anything on them. That will bend them. But if you're just going to run like regular Rapalas or cranks or even planer boards, absolutely fine to do this. They're fairly inexpensive. I think they're about 20 bucks a piece. Easy to slap on, bing, bang, boom. Easy to move around, drill and tap some holes. We're going to slap these on first, get these rocking and rolling. And then we're going to put on the light, put on the sonar, and get this boat ready for the water. Ready for adventures. That's what we're all about here. We're all about adventuring. So, sweet little boat. Nothing crazy. Like, I think this whole thing, when we all get said and done, we see 12, 7, 8, 19. I bet you if we have $2,000 in the whole thing, it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot. So you can go a long ways with a little bit of money. If you know how to pick them, you know what to look for. So let's get these things slapped down and get it rocking and rolling. Gonna knock some holes in her. I was thinking with these, I like it where I can reach it, so I always kind of do some practice shots. So I'm thinking somewhere right in here. I'm going to put my Garmin unit right here on the seat, and we're going to put that right there so I can grab that one. The other one, we're probably going to put a little bit farther forward. I don't like it for symmetrical, but that gives whoever passenger, if somebody's riding with me, a chance to get it, and it's a lot easier for me to reach back and forward than it is for me to reach up and forward, because I don't have to lean forward to get that. This one, I'm kind of already in position, and that's something that you can do when you're rigging a boat, is practice it. Before you drill a hole or put something there, practice reaching for it. Sit where you want to sit, and then just reach out like it's natural, and that's where you want to put your rod holder. That's where you want it. I was thinking about putting it here, but I really don't want the handle of my rod getting in the way of my Garmin unit. So I'm going to go right here. Not much extra for me to reach from here to here. This one here, I want my passenger to be able to reach it, but I also want to be able to get it myself if I'm flying solo. So I just kind of took my arms, stuck it out, and bent backwards and said, okay, if I was going to reach back, that's a good spot right there. So that's where it's going to go, right here. They can get it. I can get it. If it was even closer, it'd be a little harder to get, so it kind of is out a little bit. That's a natural feel. I can set that hook. So let's get this thing slapped on. I did notice, kind of have a base that kind of angles out right here. And I don't know if they recently changed that. They may not have. I may not have noticed it. And that means I can't mount this as low as I wanted to. I kind of wanted to mount it below the rail. But you really want your rod to be able to either go parallel with the water or even angled down towards the water is even better. So, especially when you're trolling. So I'm going to have to raise it up. And I think what I'm going to do is, this is a pretty thick rail right here, a gunnel, I guess you call it. And I'm going to just drill and tap my top two holes Those will be drilled and tapped in, and then I'm gonna have to pop through my bottom ones. I do have some silicone, but honestly, if the water's that high, you got a lot bigger problems to worry about than if that little hole right there is leaking. So we're gonna tap some holes and get it rolling. Bing, bang, boom. I'm thinking right about here. Right about here. That's gonna put. This is it's a 1/4-20 tap, which takes a number 7 drill bit. Might actually only have to do the top. That'd be sweet. Boom, and that's as easy as that is. We got ourselves a rod holder. Fish rod in there, fish bites. Bam, got him. Pretty good, actually. We just do the same thing on the other side. This one I think we want right about here. Alright, next thing's next. Light bar. Pretty cool. The Bully brand. Don't know much about it. Never even actually used one of these, but we're gonna mount it right here on the front of the boat. We're gonna slap this bad boy right on the front. Bow, just like that. It's gonna be sweet. That's what it looks like. Boom. Super nice. Pretty basic. Deep basic. I don't know if this thing has a top and a bottom on it. I'd like the wire though to be, that's probably the bottom. So these little guys goes on there. Fits. Little hex head. Slap that in there. So I lost my screw, but oddly enough, I got a live scope mount for a, I don't know, like a pole or something. You could put it maybe on your trolling motor or something. I think I got another one that'll fit that out of this. This is way more complicated than it should have been. All right, boom, got the thing together. Gonna slap that right on here. That's sweet. Some late night adventures right there. I think I want my cup holder to be right about here. This can be right about there. I guess that would leave room for more switches if I ever had to put anything else in. I could mount it below it, so that's probably a good idea. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this about as high as we can get it. Right about chair. Real tools call for real safety glasses. That way it can sit flush. So I've been racking my brain on how to get my wires from the battery box, which I want to put right here in the bow, back to my control panel back there, while also making running back up to my light up here. And I also have my nav light, which I want to operate separately, obviously, from that, because, you know, you don't always want to have that light on when you're running your nav. Plus, I got my trolling motor, which I want to wire directly into the battery. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I may put a plug there to plug it in right there by where I'm at. But I don't want to run it to a switch. I just want to, so it's plug, it just go or not. But I was racking my brain, and I found out back in my little pile of garbage this piece of PVC pipe. And my plan originally was to just run. If you guys look down here, there's a channel in all these boats that run down the bottom right there. And actually what that channel is for, if you look, you see a little flare right here. That is so when you're going across the water, it shoots the waves away from the bow. So they're not coming directly up. They're kind of getting shot out to the side. 99% of your boats will have some sort of this in them, especially these little aluminums like this. So I found this. I don't know if I can do this or not, but I'm gonna try to shove that guy through here, because if I can get this, it's pretty big. I think this looks like, I'm not even sure what size this is, to be honest with you. I just found it out back. I don't even know. 1 inch. This is a 1 inch. I don't know if I need something smaller than that, but if I can cram that in there, maybe heat it up with a heat gun or paint it or get it looking nice, that might be the way to get these wires from the back here all the way to the bow without making a wiry mess like what they had there or what I've seen other guys do in their boat. So let's see if this will fit. Let me get this over here. Put it in back here. That's not gonna work. Was that damaging anything up there? Am I still on the track? Okay. Oh, I'm in. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. Oh, and it kind of pushes itself in. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a game changer for all y'all in the mini boat world right here. You paint that thing, it'll disappear. Look at that. I got it popping out right there where I'm gonna run my sonar, my switch bracket right there. This runs down, it kind of sits in there nice. It does bow out a little bit right here. But I wonder if I put a heat gun to that, if I can, and actually if I leave it low, I can probably bring these right into it from here. Ready to mount this Garmin unit on there. It does have the side imaging. It's gonna be a nice little unit for this boat right here. I didn't want to drill any holes in the back of this boat, so I bought one of these stern pads right here. I bought the, this is the jumbo. They said you should probably want to get the jumbo one if you're gonna do anything with any side imaging. Those transducers are normally pretty large. Although I have noticed that the Garmin one is a lot smaller than the total scan that Lowrance has. So that's kind of interesting. But I bought the jumbo one. I don't know if you really needed it or not. We're going to find out. It's what they recommended, so it's what I went with. We're going to give this thing a shot and see how it works and everything that needs to happen with it. So here we go. Let's see how it's all going to go down. So first things first, we're going to unbox this, actually upside down for you guys. This unit right here, this is your Garmin. Guys, this thing's like $700 at Bass Pro. If you're looking for something with side imaging, you don't get a better option. That's a phenomenal price for anything with side imaging. Garmin's great. This is your 9-inch screen, slightly bigger. Everyone used to love the 5s and everyone liked the 7s. Now most people like the 12s, but I think that 9 is that good sweet spot where you're not obnoxious about your graphs. So we're gonna get this thing popped open, take a look at it. Right off the bat, you got the Garmin inside there. Check that out, pretty cool. I like the covers they put on that. Nice foam. It's kind of a neat looking unit. These things always look so sharp on a boat. I always like the Garmin's. I'm a Lowrance guy, but I always thought the Garmin's just look sharp. Cool thing about this one right here is it looks like the way this works on the back of your Lowrance, you got individual plugs. That's got one main plug. So I don't know. We're gonna get deeper into that. We're gonna keep looking at it. So there's your actual graph. Here looks like some wires that comes with it. Must be your transducer in there. That's the back of your graph. Oh, okay. So right there's where your everything plugs in, then it looks like your graph just snaps on the back. That's pretty cool. If you're pulling your graph all the time, that's pretty neat. I like that. I kind of like that unit. You plug it in, you're not unplugging and plugging in, you're just snapping it in. That's actually kind of a cool thing with this unit here. Looks like you got a couple plugs in the back. You got your sonar. That's your sonar. That's probably your power. This says NMEA 2000, and this is your Panoptics if you guys are running those. This must be your power cord right there, and you get a sticker. It says Garmin on it. Pretty neat. There's your transducer. Yeah, that's a lot smaller than the one that goes on your Lowrance. I think my total scale one's like, the thing's a honker. It's honker. It's huge. I do not know which way this mounts onto that bracket. Like this, and your bracket goes down here, which is kind of, you'd think they would put the cord going towards where it mounts. Must be they decided not to do that for some reason. That's beyond me. So this must be how this whole thing goes down. Bingo bango. Does have a little clip here for your wire in there. Mounts like that. This loops around. That's just so weird that it comes out and then goes back in. You really would think that they would just have the wire facing the other way. Look at that. So that mounts on there, and then your wire loops back. That's kind of odd. All right, let's go take a walk, and we'll get a look at where this is gonna go. Now again, guys, this is a 14-foot aluminum boat. Whole thing's aluminum. I didn't really want to drill holes in it. If you can avoid popping holes in a hull of a boat, you're better off. And being that it's aluminum, you're definitely better off. You can't just patch it or anything like that. It's kind of just is what it is once it's there. So I was a little nervous on mounting this thing. You know, everything says do it on the starboard side, stay away from the port. Reason being because when your motor turns and the way that your prop turns, you want to go the side of the clockwise, because it'll suck water in from this side and it'll disturb it all if you're cranking across the lake. If you're trying to move, they say you shouldn't be going over 5 miles an hour if you're trying to run your true side imaging anyway. So I am going to mount this, I guess. We'll try to get this as close to center as possible. I mean, honestly, in a perfect world, because how small this is, you could probably mount it right here and just do center mass, but I'm gonna have to go about here. I mean, really, a lot of guys go here, but I'm gonna try to get it a little closer to that center. That's what I did on my last boat. But it looks like no matter where I put it, it's not gonna hit the actual outboard. The little tiny outboard here is not gonna really bother it much. So here we go, stern pad. We got these little clips. It's kind of cool. Not sure what those are for yet. Little epoxy, maybe that's for running your quick cable. That'd be awesome. Oh, and I just dropped them. A little pad that's in there. That's in there. We got an alcohol wipe. The actual pad itself, that's kind of nice. Indicated for boats that exceed 55 miles per hour. So that's a big deal. If your boat's gonna exceed 55, don't use this pad. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna put this right here. That sounds like a good plan to me. We'll do that. I live next door to a nuke, well, not next door, but I live in Oswego, so there's a lot of nuke stuff around here, and I really hope those aren't real sirens. So a lot of guys say that if you can, you try to mount your side scan transducer as close to the center of the boat as you can. If it doesn't hit, that's fantastic. That's absolutely great. But you don't want to go past center and into port, because then you get muck water from the suck-in from your prop. I'm actually going to do mine a little bit off to the right, the starboard, reason being because there's these bolts right here, and I can't mount my plate right there. So I'm going to tape this bad boy up.
I think you might as well do it right.
I just got a little grinder and a drill. I'm gonna clean this whole area off. Okay, got her all cleaned up. Pulled my tape off. Nice square spot right here to mount this bad boy. All right, so I gotta wipe that down with the alcohol. I'm gonna wipe it down first, then wipe it down with an alcohol pad. Let that dry, and then put that on. All right, I got given a pack of socks for Christmas last year, so they're way too big, so that's what I use for rags for everything. So I'm gonna wipe this right down. Clever enough, the tool they give is just a tack. That's all they give with you. And you only got one shot to get her to stick. Okay. That's where it's gonna be forever. We're gonna do one in the middle for 15 seconds. There you go. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see how that thing's doing. In the meantime, I'm gonna go mount everything else. Okay, now we have the actual unit itself. We're gonna mount this bad boy right here. When I'm driving, I can see them. I'm just gonna mount this thing flush right here. That's gonna be plenty for me to see when I'm driving, I think. And shouldn't be too much in the way. Right there, I can kind of mount it and tip it up to me. So there we go. We're gonna take this thing, I'm gonna screw it in. I'm not even gonna do anything super fancy. I'm just gonna use some wood screws. This is a wood deck. And underneath it, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get to. So because of that, I'm just gonna take some wood screws, just regular screws, and just screw that base right down to it. And later on, I guess if it gives me issues, I got the pilot holes, I'll drill it out and then put a nut and bolt on there. But for right now, the only problem with these, sometimes they do get a little rusty, but if that doesn't bother you like it doesn't bother me, then you're in it to win it. Let me grab the screw gun. We're gonna shoot this thing down to the deck, and bing, bang, boom, we're gonna have ourselves a sonar.
I'm fishing, I can see everything. There's one shot.
Pull this right off for now. Maybe I should put this back in, take a look at it real quick. Yeah, that's pretty sweet right there. I think that'll do the job. Bingo, bango, wingo, tango. There it is. Here and forever. There you go. Garmin unit. Mounted right on the boat. Letting you... Spick and span, man. Spick and span. We did quite a bit to this boat over the past year. We went through, I put a Garmin unit on there. It's got side imaging, it's got down imaging. It's just a little 9-inch unit. Put that on there. I did the put a trolling motor in there. I wired it all into that little master switch right there. We did a cup holder. I added a bow light right here because I'm gonna be doing a lot of duck hunting and probably nighttime stuff out of this. And what else did we do? Oh, we sanded and stained and varnished these seats here. I did move the gas tank up into the bow. We put a 100 amp, 12 volt, 100 amp lithium ion battery in here. Onboard charger, we added that in there. All the wires kind of run down the side right there past my rods. And back here, did a couple of these rod holders, and we did the bilge pump. Oh, and right here's where you mounted the transducer with this little block. So we've been working on this thing, getting it rock and rolling. Hooked up some GoPros. I did a GoPro hook mount in the back. I did one here in the front, right there. You can stick that in. It's like a little light thing you stick on there so you guys can see what's going on. So this is gonna be fun. Now we have to get it out and prove to you that it can catch a walleye, that we can boat a fish in this boat. So tomorrow morning, I'm getting up bright and squirrely, heading up to Oneida Lake, and I'm gonna try to put a couple walleyes in this little boat right here. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's actually supposed to be really nice out tomorrow. I think we have like a 3-mile-an-hour wind from the southwest, so it shouldn't be too rough for this little guy. But if you see right here, we got a whole box right full of worm harnesses, all sorts of colors, shapes, and sizes. I think there's about 100 of them in this box. So that's the plan right there, is gonna be to pull worm harnesses. If that doesn't work, we might go to cranks. I did throw some spinning rods in the boat, so we can throw blades or some jigs with a worm or something like that, just to make sure that we get a walleye in this boat tomorrow, bright and early on Oneida Lake.
This will catch a lot of walleyes.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Good morning. It's bright and early. It's about 5:30-ish. First light was 5:45, so we're gonna get heading out and on the road into our spot, or get launched or whatever, and get out there on the water. It's a little chillier out than I thought it was gonna be. It's probably only about 50 degrees this morning. I brought more shorts, but I brought pants and I brought some heavier stuff because it might be chilly. We're on the road. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna boat a walleye on a little StarCraft 14-footer. It's dark. You probably can't even see me. Boom, there we go. We're hitting the road. Well, we're almost there. Ran into a bit of a hiccup. First, the bridge was out on the way over here, so I had to take a big detour. And then I get here, and there's a darn gate up. And I don't know why there's a gate here, or if there's always a gate here. I always put in here in the fall when we were duck hunting, and it wasn't a big deal, so I figured we could do it walleye fishing. Oh, this looks like the kind of gate you're not supposed to open. I'm gonna go over, put in the marina behind where I work, behind the auction house, and try it there. I guess we'll have to huck it a little farther than we expected. What the heck, gate? Don't let anybody ever tell you it's easy. All right, we're rocking and rolling. We got the boat in the water. GoPro's on, motor's running. Sun is rising. The water looks nice though. We're gonna get out there. Bottom bouncers, that's the plan today. Pulling bottom bouncers. Everything hooked up. The water is cold. It went from 70 degrees down to like 65. 65 degrees in here right now. Insane for August. So hopefully the bottom bouncer worm harness bite's still going on. That's what we're heading for. That's what we're trying for. In the little boat, had to do a pivot, kind of threw off a lot of my plans for the day. Added an extra hour to getting in the water, but we're in it, so let's win it. right, these things rigged, get them down there. Got my worms. One bottom bouncer, there's two. These two look great. I'm marking a lot of fish down there. There's nobody out here. I don't know where everybody is today, but they're not here, that's for sure. I'm gonna put a worm on that thing. Let's get our phone motor down. Start moving in a direction, maybe. Set. Oh, is that a fish? That's a fish. Oh, that's a good fish. It is a pike. Got a pike. Right off the bat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, he came off. Nice. What's the deal here? There we go. I'll make sure that's ready. He broke my worm harness. That'll take about a whole 4 seconds. Second. Worm harness number 2 going overboard. On this lake you can actually run 3 rods, but I only put 2 rod holders on here. Maybe eventually I'll do a 3rd one. Big perch. Boat flip. Big old perch. Not a bad one. Oh, there's a big fish. Oh, the sunfish.
I would think that right?
Man, you forget how big the sunfish are in this lake. I gotta get to the auction house to unload containers.
They're not here yet.
Oh, they're not? Look at that. Big sunfish. Yeah, there's another fish. This will do this a little bigger. Couple head shakes. Walleye. I think it may be a bass. Yes. And it's a walleye. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's a little one, but it's a start. Might be a 15-incher. There it is. First little walleye in the little boat. He's a keeper. He's barely. We're going to put him back. Inch 14, yeah, we're putting him back. There you go, first walleye in the little boat. Boom, we're getting it. Let's just see if we can get a little bigger one. Let him go. Mission accomplished. We got a walleye in the boat, been trolling the bottom bouncers. It was a little one. We're gonna try to get one a little bigger than that. That one was only about 14, wasn't even a keeper. On this lake, out of Nida, you can do 15 inches, you keep up to 5. So there's a lot of them out here. A really good resource. We're gonna keep boating fish. Thinking this might be another walleye. Little tiny guy. Catching the dinkers today. Walleye number 2. Little sandwich. Got the dinker. Put him back. Alright, we're not losing this one. I'm not playing that game. Oh, is that another fish? This one's a little dragger. And these rods make these fish feel huge. Big fish in a little boat. These guys are going right by me. These guys are cranking. Hope they don't run me over. Here we go. Coming now. Still pull and drag. This is ridiculous. There you go, bottom bouncing. You never know what you're gonna get. Look at the size of that sheep's head. That camera, big fish in a little boat. That sucker is heavy. Look at that thing. That is insane. Just pulling bottom bouncers. Old sheep's head this morning. Crazy. Crazy. That thing's got some weight to it. We're gonna get this thing right back. Boop. Before we swap back over to bottom bouncers, I'll show you guys what we're using here. This is just a Berkeley bait caster combo. It's their LR lightning rod. It's their trout rod. It's a super light, fun rod to use. I like the bait casters for bottom bouncing because they drop faster. You can get in contact with bottom quicker, and it keeps your angle of your drag down. If you're using like a line counter, they kind of go back a little slower, so it'll actually increase your angle as you're going down before you contact with bottom. So these are kind of nice. You can drop right down there, hit bottom, feel bottom, lock it into gear, and rock and roll. And then we just have a 2 ounce. I don't do much more than 2 ounces is pretty much what I do for everything. And then I just got your worm harness on there. Boom, big old night crawler dangling off there. A lot of guys are particular about colors. Really, honestly, I'm not. I kind of feel like it all seems to be the same. I might have colors I gravitate more. I like green. I like copper and gold, or copper and silver. But other than that, I just kind of rock and roll what I got. Red seems to be pretty good. There you have it. We caught a walleye. We successfully got out here and caught a walleye in the little boat, in the little StarCraft, 14 foot with a 7.5 on there on the big old Oneida Lake. And we were successful. We got it. We got the boat. We built the boat. We put, oh, there's a fish right there. That fish I may have just missed. You probably stole my worm. That's what I get for doing an outro in the middle of fishing. But we got out here, we did it. The boat looks good. The boat worked great. Everything seemed to work. I didn't really have any issues so far. I'm not back in the marina yet, so here we go. But hey, if you like this video, you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you also let me know if you want to see more in-depth thing about bottom bouncing. I kind of came out here and did a little bit here. There's actually a lot more to it than it looks like. The one-wheres and whys are always big when it comes to this stuff. So if you want to see a video on that, let me know. I hope you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It was a success. 2 dinker walleye is all we got, but we did get a huge drum there. That was kind of cool. That was quite the battle. I wasn't expecting that this morning. Lost a couple pike, lots of perch, lots of sunfish. Got some pretty big sunnies in there. But we had a good time. It was a great morning to be on the lake. Can't complain. Better than being at work. And hey, before we leave, one last little nugget of wisdom. You can't change the world unless you're willing to change yourself. So get out there, do great things, and we'll see you next time. Holy cow. That's a big boat coming our way. Big old walleye. Be a big walleye. That's all I need to cinch the video. Massive sunny. Barely get my hand around this thing. This thing's the size of my head. These sunnies on this lake are absolutely huge.